I have a serious problem with something that I saw yesterday that no one seems to have the guts or the backbone to address. And people that know me know that I have lots of backbone. I have a backbone made out of titanium. I have lots of guts. And I'm going to address it. I'll give my background first for those who don't know about where I came from. I grew up in the ghetto, one of the worst ghettos around. I grew up as a severe minority. I grew up experiencing racism firsthand. I was called white boy, honky, white bread, cracker, all kinds of names all the time. I didn't even care. I didn't even think twice about it because I was used to it. It's what I experienced. I was hated by most of the blacks and Hispanics and Asians around me. However, my closest friends that I had were also black, Hispanic, and Asian. And the small group that I had that were my tight friends, they had my back. They watched out for me. They looked after me. And many of them would fight with me against their own people when a big fight would break out. I know what racism is firsthand. I know what it's like to be a minority. I know what it's like to be downtrodden. I can understand the plight of the black man. So here's my problem. Here's where I'm coming from with today's issue. Yesterday, the Antichrist, Barack Hussein Obama, and if you don't know he's the Antichrist, I'm going to go ahead and attach a couple links to videos that I did here to give you a little understanding who this man actually is so you can see for yourself. But here's what he said yesterday. He said, "Our great unfinished business in MLK legacy heralded in speech." That's the headline. Here's what he said. 50 years after Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech, President Obama, aka the Antichrist, celebrated the progress made while cautioning that more needs to be done. So here's my thing. When I saw the Antichrist, Obama, have the gall to stand up and say that, first of all, to stand up and assume to represent Dr. King is exactly the same scenario as if Satan stood up and claimed to represent Jesus Christ. The only things that Obama and Dr. King have in common is they're both males and they share the same skin color. What exactly does the Antichrist Obama mean when he says more needs to be done on race relations? Does he mean he needs to continue to divide us more so that racial discord and hatred reach an all-time fevered pitch? This man needs to be ashamed of himself for daring to speak for Dr. King, for daring to speak in the same spot that he spoke in. Obama is the antithesis to everything Dr. King worked so hard for and has personally set back race relations at least 100 years, if not more. Let's have some truth for a change. Obama talks about change. Let's have truth for a change. I have a great deal of respect and admiration for Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I grew up admiring this man. This man worked hard. He worked tirelessly for his people, for the black man, to try to help them, and not just for the black man, for all races to get along, so all races' children could play together, and there could be a world where race would get along. Dr. King was a staunch Christian. He was a true man of God. Obama claims to be a Christian. He's not. You'll be known by your fruits. Obama's fruit is rotten. He's as much of a Christian as the devil is. So here's the bottom line. Are we going to continue to just sit back and say nothing when Obama and people like Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson and the rest of their crew come out and just are major race baiters, and every time something happens where it's a black man or woman being accosted or being assaulted or killed by a white or by a white Hispanic mix or whoever it is, and they call for all kinds of wild stuff, but whenever a white person gets murdered by a black, nothing is said. Are we going to just keep sitting around and just letting them come out and just race bait and trying to stir the pot and trying to make us think about things? Are we going to understand, okay, our president is lying about everything he says about race. He's two-faced, and he doesn't care about any races. If he truly cared about race, if Al Sharpton truly cared about race, Jesse Jackson and all their crew, why aren't they in Chicago, in the inner cities, where every weekend people are getting murdered. Lots and lots of black on black violence are getting murdered, and many, many more sent to the hospital in critical condition. Why aren't they in Watts doing the same? Why aren't they down in Louisiana doing the same? Why aren't they in New York City and Harlem doing the same? Why aren't they down in Gould's in Miami doing the same? Why aren't they in all of these ghettos all around the country where black on black violence is just destroying the black man? Why don't they go down there and say that any of these victims could have been me when I was a little boy? Why doesn't Obama say that? Why doesn't he say one of these could have been my son? Because they don't care. They're trying to stir up race. They're trying to race bait to make the division of race in this country terrible, so hatred will grow. And that's what they're doing. I refuse to buy into it. I'm not going to hate anybody. I love all people of all races. Jesus Christ taught that, and I follow Jesus Christ, and I follow his teachings. That's how I live my life. I don't just talk the talk, I walk it. I walk it day and night. So I'm not going to sit around and allow this guy and these people like Sharpton and Jackson and the rest to destroy our country without saying something about it. I'm not going to believe the hype. Don't believe the hype. It's a sequel. Over and over and over again, it's the same thing. I'm just tired of it. We need to understand that these people aren't trying to help us. They're trying to divide us. Understand, your skin color means nothing as far as who you are or what you do, what you can accomplish. What matters is what's inside your heart, what's inside your soul, how you live. If you have Jesus in your heart, if he's inside your soul, you're going to be a good person. You're going to love people. You're going to support people and defend them. So let's understand that it's all a big dog and pony show, my friends. It's all a big fake extravaganza scam these people are trying to perpetrate. Let's love each other like Jesus Christ did. Let's be friends like Jesus Christ taught us to be. Let's love those that hate us and pray for those that spitefully use us like Jesus Christ taught us to. Down in the description below this video, I've got a prayer that you can pray to be saved by Jesus Christ's blood if you never have been. And it tells you about things to do next in your life. If you don't know true peace, if you don't know true love in your life, if you have hatred against other races or your own race or anybody, find Jesus today before your time runs out. I love you guys. May God bless you. This is a loving video. Nothing hateful about it at all. People are going to call me a racist for putting it out. My words are very plain. They're very clear. They're very non-biased, very non-racial. They're factual. They're telling it like it is. Have a blessed day. May God bless you. Take care.